Okay, so today we're reacting to I made an apple pill itself. I have never heard of an apple pilling itself. So let's get straight to it.
So legend has it that if you take a potato and put it under extreme pressure and heat, then explosively release that pressure,
So it's making really hot water, explosive heat. Is it just hot water or like boiling water?
put it under extreme pressure and heat, then explosively release that pressure, the potato will peel itself. Whoa! I wanted to see this for myself, in slow motion, which meant building a device to do this that I could see into, which is a lot easier said than done. It's storing the energy of 3 sticks of dynamite, and it really wants to blow up, but I'm using engineering to try to make it not do that. It was so dangerous I had to make a blast chamber and run it remotely.
So there's a really big chance of it blowing up. And he could be in danger. He could probably die. This is like a life-threatening experiment. You could die from this. This is crazy.
Try to make it not do that. It was so dangerous I had to make a blast chamber and run it remotely. The results exceeded my expectations. And it also turns out you can peel other stuff with some pretty unexpected results. And I really don't understand what happens to strawberries. My wife certainly enjoyed it. I think she really appreciated a potato peeler with a 3-stage, 47-point checklist.
I feel like I'm defusing a bomb.
3-stage.
So this general idea is not new. This is how they supposedly peel potatoes for potato chips and things where you can't have skin on it. I've tried to find videos of it online and there's nothing. And that is why I'm doing this project. I want to see what happens to the potato. If you're wondering how pressure and steam makes a potato peel itself, it's actually pretty simple. Steam transfers heat to things a lot faster than air. So when it surrounds the potato, it will heat up the skin.
Okay, so it's steam. So I thought it was like boiling water, but they put water in, but it was hot water, but the steam. What?
Heat to things a lot faster than air. So when it surrounds the potato, it will heat up the skin really fast. It'll do it so fast, the heat will only penetrate a little bit below the potato skin. The water just under the skin of the potato will get so hot that it would boil if it weren't under pressure from the steam. It's like a pressure cooker. But if you quickly release all the pressure, all the superheated water under the skin of the potato will boil and it
So it's not boiling water. What? I can't wrap my hand around it. So it's steam. Okay, so best way I can think of it is it's steam, but you are releasing it really fast.
quickly release all the pressure, all the superheated water under the skin of the potato will boil and expand, but it's trapped under the skin of the potato, so it'll just pop it like a balloon, and it should just come off the potato. At least in theory. Which doesn't sound that bad until you realize the temperatures and pressures that we're operating at. I find pressure cookers very scary. Like, I'm just looking at that thing waiting for it to just explode in my face. And this is gonna take pressure 10 to 20 times that of a pressure cooker.
So he's like scared of a pressure cooker. So just imagine this. Like if he's already worried about a pressure cooker, imagine that 10 times. 10 times as bad. Like I said earlier, there's a really good chance he's gonna die or get injured. There's a really good chance he gets injured.
And this is gonna take pressure 10 to 20 times that of a pressure cooker. So I've been thinking how to actually do this practically. To make the steam, I'll make some kind of strong metal pressure vessel filled partially with water and an immersion heater in the water, which will heat up the water, but it won't be able to boil because it's in a closed container, like a pressure cooker. So it'll get hotter and hotter and higher pressure. And then I'll put some kind of valve on top of this. If you open the valve, the pressure will drop, which will let some of the water instantly turn into steam. It's called flashing.
So he's gonna put the potato in the middle, I'm guessing. Well, actually, he probably gonna explain it, but so far I'm thinking, so he fills halfway, but then this extra space, I think he's gonna put the potato in between the extra space, because that's where the steam is gonna come in, but he'll explain it.
If you open the valve, the pressure will drop, which will let some of the water instantly turn into steam. It's called flashing. So this will be our steam generator. Then we'll make another sealed container that we can attach to the steam generator that we can put a potato in.
Okay.
Now if you turn it on, the steam will expand and go into that chamber and heat up the potato. And then if we attach another valve to this chamber that's normally closed, we can open that once the potato's heated up to release all the steam pressure and do the peeling. And then something that's gonna be tricky is seeing into this chamber, because I wanna film what happens to the potato. But this is a high pressure, high temperature vessel, and they really don't like having holes in the side of them. So it's gonna take some engineering to figure out how to do that. So it's actually a pretty simple thing. The hard part's just gonna be designing it so that everything can withstand the temperatures and pressure.
So, water goes up the pipe or the valve, well, the pipe. You open the valve to go to the pipe. But what is the extra valve? What is that valve on the top? But the way I think of it, the water is going up to the pipe. Or is the steam going up to the pipe? Guessing the water going up to the pipe, and that valve, it turns it to steam somehow. I don't know.
Really a pretty simple thing. The hard part's just gonna be designing it so that everything can withstand the temperatures and pressures and be safe, because there's an enormous amount of energy in this. So I guess it's time to do some engineering and see if we can give a potato the absolute worst case of the bends you can imagine. We're making the boiler out of a thick stainless steel pipe and some thick plates to close the ends. But it won't seal unless the ends of this pipe are flat and smooth, which they are not. This is dangerous. If I start machining on the end here, there's a good chance the forces of cutting into this are gonna just knock this out of the chuck and make it fly across the room. 99% chance it would hit me in the face. So we need to make a fixture, which is making a thing that's gonna help you make another thing. Sometimes you need a fixture to make the fixture to make a thing. Although this one's pretty simple, it just holds up the end of the pipe so it doesn't fly out. Almost everything on this is stainless steel, which can be difficult to machine. It can work harden, where it gets much harder to cut, which will just break your tools. So this is a project that really makes me appreciate the water jet. It can do 90% of the work on all the flat parts, and there's really nothing to it. It just works. To get a good seal between the pipe and the end caps, I have to make some gaskets. This is a fairly soft, high temperature silicone rubber, and I could cut these on the water jet, but it's pretty easy to make them by hand. This is the valve that will let us release.
Is that the silicone that used to make the hammer, the rubber hammer? I don't know what it's called, but that one hammer, but it's not actually a hammer. It's like, I think it's made with silicone.
It's pretty easy to make them by hand. This is the valve that will let us release steam from the boiler, and it attaches with an annoyingly complicated stack of seals. And then after that, it's just a matter of squeezing the cylinder and the gaskets between the two plates. The pressure of the steam is going to be pushing on both these caps with about 10,000 pounds of force. So I'm using a special grade of rods that...
So the steam is going in that. Steam is going into that pipe. Going up. Okay, so yeah, it is the steam going up. Okay.
Can withstand the stress at an elevated temperature. So now that it's all put together, it's time to accessorize. The first thing is the heater. This is a 2 kilowatt, 240 volt immersion heater. It'll sit in the water, get really hot, and heat it up. And then next to that is the drain plug, which is a great thing to have next to 240 volt wires. And I have a way to make this not as dangerous as it sounds. And then up top, we need a way to open and close the valve. So I'm making this little thing to let me attach an air cylinder, which lets me open and close it remotely with some air valves. So now we just need the potato pressurization zone, which you might call the chamber. And just like the boiler, it starts life off as a section of stainless steel pipe. And I also made all its flat parts on the water jet, although there is some cool 5-axis stuff to help me with my welds. Ugh! Being able to cut a relief like that is so handy. If you know, you know. The construction of the chamber is pretty different because I need to be able to get in and out of it all the time to load specimens. So it's designed totally differently and is mostly welded. Once all the individual parts are the right shape, it's just a matter of welding them all together to make a more complicated part that hopefully is also the right shape. And this is why no one has ever paid me to weld for them. All the heat and stress from the weld shrinking.
I'm guessing you do more science experiments than welding, so.
Distorts the tube, which is a problem because the inside surface is a seal. So I'm using my manual mill to bore it out to a nice, smooth, round surface. Now we just need to make the two things kiss, which is easy. They already, they like each other. It wasn't hard to do. Making a door that's easy to get on and off with a window that can withstand the temperature and pressure was challenging. But the design ended up being pretty simple. And then a bit more accessorizing, and this thing is ready to go.
Simple for you, but really complicated for me. So I don't know what that is. It's just what I don't even know how to explain it.
Simple. And then a bit more accessorizing, and this thing is ready to go. So I've got it mostly together, and I can give you a little tour of all the various.
Okay, so the chamber is where you're gonna put the water. Going up those pipes and valves, the steam is going up, and on that top left chamber is where the potato is gonna be. So you have one valve letting the steam up. Oh, okay, one valve letting steam up, and one valve letting the steam go in. And then wait, what happens if you only have one valve? Like if you just have that one valve on the bottom going up and that, does it not work? Does he need two valves to go up and then release? I don't know.
So I've got it mostly together, and I can give you a little tour of all the various features.
Yeah.
So this down here is the boiler. As the water heats up, it's contained, so the pressure will increase. And on top of the boiler is this valve, which I modified to be air operated. This will let me open it without being anywhere near this thing. And up here is the chamber. This is what's going to hold our potato or whatever other specimen we want to put in here. This is an air operated valve, which opens really fast, so I can take the pressure from 150 to 0 as quickly as possible. It'll be really loud to release that pressure.
Okay, so that's air pressure. Okay, I was completely wrong. That valve is air pressure. So he's gonna need like an air compressor, I think.
150 to 0 as quickly as possible. It'll be really loud to release that pressure, so we've got a muffler, which hopefully won't restrict the flow too much. The door has this kind of weird construction. There's the front stainless steel plate, which is what gives everything the structure. And we have this aluminum disc thing, which is what does all of the sealing. There's an O-ring on the outside, which seals against the inside face of the chamber. And there's another O-ring on the inside of it, which seals against this glass disc. And the glass disc just sits inside the ring. The force of the pressurized steam will push the disc into the stainless steel plate. And these little 3D printed plastic pieces are just to keep it from falling out and breaking. And I decided to go with O-rings instead of a face seal, because a face seal is just more sensitive. You have to have everything cranked down really nice and evenly. And it's just easier to have a leak. So I designed the boiler for a specific pressure and temperature. And so I have this mechanical.
But is it more safe? Like, is those red things more safe? Like, this might be more sensitive, but isn't more safe. 'Cause if it's more safe, I kind of feel like it would be worth it. But I don't know. He did what he had to do.
So I designed the boiler for a specific pressure and temperature. And so I have this mechanical safety valve. It's made for steam, and if the pressure in the chamber gets above 200 psi, it'll open very quickly and vent the pressure, which will prevent any boneheaded mistakes from causing this to detonate. But this makes a whole other danger, because if I set this port open, it could just shoot super hot steam at you. So I have some extra plumbing to route the steam down. There's a muffler so that it's not too loud when it comes out. So the design of this boiler with threaded rods holding the two plates on the end is unusual.
Normally you would just hold the top and bottom of this on with a flange, just like the chamber does.
I just don't trust my welding enough to do that. So I designed it this way, which eliminates the welding, but it introduces some new, actually more subtle dangers. So when the boiler heats up, this tube is going to expand and get longer. And the threaded rods are,
What did you just say?
but it introduces some new, actually more subtle dangers.
So you hated welding so bad that you would rather increase danger than weld. Like I don't weld. I'm not a welder at all. I don't know nothing about it, but I would rather weld if it means that I'll be more safe than not weld. It means I'll be in more danger. That's just me, I guess.
So when the boiler heats up, this tube is going to expand and get longer. And the threaded rods are also going to expand, but the stainless steel expands more, and that's going to try to stretch the rods. And if you run the numbers, the stress of the boiler stretching out these rods will take them about 80% of the way to failure. If you just bolted these threaded rods on top and bottom, there's a good chance that it would fail, which is what the stack of washers below this nut is for. These washers are actually a special kind of spring called a Belleville washer, and they have a sort of cone shape. And if you push on them really hard, that cone will flatten. They don't move very far, which is why I have 4 of them stacked on top of each other. So initially when everything's cold, I'll tighten the nut to compress these washers down a predetermined amount, which should put enough force onto these plates to hold in the steam.
Yeah, I never understand why you use valves, not valves. You will use washers for like any kind of like welding or like metal work. Okay, so you use washers because they expand and basically they're more safe. Okay.
But the amount, which should put enough force onto these plates to hold in the steam. But the Bellevilles won't be bottomed out. So when this thing expands, it'll push this plate up and it can compress the Belleville washers further, and that'll take up the slack and should keep everything nice and safe. Now you're probably wondering, if I'm so afraid of welding flanges onto the boiler, why did I weld a flange onto the chamber? And it really just comes down to the amount of energy that we're talking about. This thing is like probably multiple sticks of TNT of energy in this. It has an enormous amount of superheated water in it that can all flash to steam, and it would be very bad. The chamber.
Did I miss it, or where is the heating part? It's called the boiler, but I don't. Maybe you're gonna say it later, but I don't think. Well, I don't know. He probably covered it, but the boiler, is it only hot because it's metal, or is there actual like fire in it? I don't know.
Can all flash to steam, and it would be very bad. The chamber is only gonna have steam in it, so much less energy than the boiler. If this thing blew, I'm sure it would blow the door off and it'd be really cool and scary, but it just wouldn't be that bad. So I just felt more comfortable welding that. I did not feel comfortable welding this. But before we try to pressurize this thing with steam, I don't want to find out if it doesn't work catastrophically. So I'm going to do something called hydro testing. This is commonly done for pressure vessels, and it works by filling the thing you want to test up with water and then pressurizing that water beyond the pressure you plan to operate at. And if it doesn't explode, then you know you should be good. And you do this because it is way safer. Because if you think about air or steam, as you pressurize it, you're compressing it like a spring. And if this thing fails, all that compressed gas can expand very quickly, which is very dangerous. That's what's basically an explosion. But water at these pressures is basically incompressible. It's not going to expand in that dangerous way. It'll just kind of go.
I'm using a high pressure air pump.
If it won't expand, it won't compress either. Yeah, so what he just said, that it won't expand. There's no danger, but it won't compress. So this experiment won't work. I don't know. Interesting to see what happens.
Expand in that dangerous way. It'll just kind of go.
I'm using a high pressure air pump and a small buffer tank to do the pressurization. It's a little sketchy, but not really dangerous. Just kind of sketchy. Starting with the chamber, because I'm just less scared of that than the boiler. Well, that's not good. So once again, this is why no one has ever paid me to weld anything. But I found my stubby torch, so I can fix it now. And you know what? This just turned into hydro testing hell. I would fill it up, test it, get some leak, take it apart, fix it, put it back together, fill it up again, have some other issue. Repeat that too many times. Although I did eventually work through all the issues, and it was a lot better to do this with cold water than very hot, very angry steam. Alright, everything works. No more excuses. It's time to test this thing. Well, we do have to install everything back on it before we can do that. And I also forgot I have to build a control panel for it, which is what I'll be using to operate it remotely.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Like, obviously you can't stand right beside it. So yeah, that's a whole nother hard work.
It has controls for the valves. It also lets me monitor and control the temperatures. It's incredibly important for controlling this thing, but there's also not really anything to it, so not a lot to show. And I should probably clean up the shop because it's getting kind of dangerous.
If he doesn't die from it exploding, he's gonna die from tripping. Well, not die, but he's gonna get injured by just tripping, and well, he could bang his head on something.
It's getting kind of dangerous. And I should probably also beef up the blast shielding a little bit. Not because I'm afraid of something catastrophic, more to shield me from any kind of steam leak, because even a small one could cause pretty bad burns. Alright, we're done with all the excuses. It's time to test this thing. The peeler does have startup and shutdown procedures with checklists, as well as a firing procedure and checklist, because it would be easy to do something wrong and get really messed up.
Just making sure.
Alright, Potato. Nice knowing ya. It controls pressure indirectly with temperature, because if there's liquid water and the steam is saturated, and you know it's temperature, you know it's pressure.
Come on, baby. Uh-oh, do I hear leakage? Oh, I hope not.
So the safety release valve was leaking. I cooled everything down and took it apart and was able to reseat it with some high pressure air. And when we charged everything back up, it's leaking around where the heater screws in. And since the pressure was really low, I tried to tighten it, but I didn't turn off the power. Well, I did, accidentally. In a stunning display of you get
He could have caught on fire. I think. He literally just could have got caught on fire.
what you pay for, my $5 500 pack of wire splices split apart when I twisted the wire 1/2 of a turn and shorted out.
That's something I either didn't pay attention or he didn't show. So he has cheap wiring, I guess is what he just said. He has cheap wiring, so it caught on fire. Alright. Does he has to spend money on wiring? Dude, he probably spent a lot of money on doing this already. And to spend money on wiring too? Jeez.
is split apart when I twisted the wire 1/2 of a turn and shorted out. I'm gonna give them a bunch of layers of Kapton and avoid twisting them in the conduit.
Oh, okay. No, he doesn't have to buy new wires. He just has to build a safety. Wait, yeah. Build just safe something.
All right, let's try this again. So this can go up to 200 PSI. We're doing 20 PSI just to make sure everything works. It's probably not gonna peel a potato.
First thing we do is charge it. Things are getting steamy. All right, closing the vent. All right, vent in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that didn't do much. So the skin is kind of loose. It's not nothing. I think this potato needs more power.
First thing we do is charge in 3, 2, 1. All right, we will close chamber now. Vent. All right, this is amazing. Look at this. It almost worked. The skin is cracked off the side of it. We're getting really close.
All right, 40 was good, but we need more power.
60.
Charging the chamber in 2, 1.
Oh, that's not good.
I just lost an enormous amount of energy.
All right, let's try that again.
Discharge. Now.
Was not. Oh, it's supposed to.
I think that pretty much almost worked.
It didn't
Oh,
peel all of
hot potato.
it. It didn't peel, but
We can't really see the potatoes sitting on the bottom of the chamber, so I made this. It's the simplest possible thing I could imagine to hold a variety of things in the middle of the chamber. And while we're at it, we should just give it more power.
Charge. All right, vent in 3, 2, 1. That was dramatic. The skin is getting ripped off and plastered against the window like some horror movie. Man, I would not want to be in this chamber.
Although the skin is coming off, this is almost working.
That is crazy, man. It just takes the skin right off. Oh. Okay, goodbye, potato.
Obviously, what we need is
more power.
Venting in 3, 2, 1.
yeah, it works, but I want the skin completely off.
More power.
All right, charging in 3, 2, 1. Venting in 3, 2, 1.
It's not completely
The potato skin's getting pinched against the window, which doesn't help. It's hard to say this isn't just working, but I'm not stopping until I get the potato naked. That sounded different in my head.
All right, I think I figured it out.
Say that.
We need more power.
Could have just said till the potato gets unpeeled, like, well, peeled. Till the potato gets peeled. Did not have to say naked.
All right, I think I figured it out.
We need more power.
150. Go.
Charge in 3, 2, 1. Inventing in 3, 2, 1.
Is that completely off?
It's naked! Yes! I knew that it was gonna work.
Peeled.
Oh, yes!
Fully peeled.
That is exactly what I imagined. It's so good. The potato just says, goodbye skin, my people need it, or something. I am so pleased. I gotta save that before it's gone. Wow. One piece came out of all the indentations perfectly, and there's almost zero potato in the skins. That's like perfect potato yield preservation.
I think at 200 PSI, this would be even better, but I can't because the heater's leaking again where it screws in. And it gets bad at higher pressures. I've tightened it as much as I can, but it's not stopping. This is a bigger fix. But it doesn't really matter because it peels stuff. Let's see what happens if we stick other stuff in here.
So an apple is probably the most obvious thing. Charging, venting in 3, 2, 1.
She's doing it 150.
It looks like Voldemort just cast one of the worst non-YA spells on this apple.
Fully peel off, it's still peeled.
It's one messed up looking apple. It smells like apple pie in here.
All right, you got to check this out. If you look closely, you can see the skin separating from the apple as the steam is vented. Man, that's awesome.
What are you gonna do to a tomato? Seems hard to peel.
Like the tomato will explode.
Charging.
Not peel, but explode.
All right, venting.
Ah, I was kind
That
of.
looks interesting. This might actually be the worst Harry Potter spell.
Let's see. So peel it first.
It definitely skinned it. Wow.
Oh, peel it in. Explode.
I don't think I've ever seen a peeled tomato before. They're creepy.
That's
All right, place your bets. Will it do anything to this lemon? It's a thick skin.
thick skin. No.
All right, closing the charge and venting in 3, 2, 1.
Was that right?
Oh, it smells like lemon big time. That's weird, man. Little pustules appeared and then were squeezed like lemon zits or something.
I don't think it peeled.
It's a lot of force to tear a lemon skin, so maybe with a higher pressure and temperature or a faster release it could work. Maybe we'll try it if we have
I was
time.
right.
What is with this guy? Has he seen the size of this project? It's not going to happen.
It didn't peel.
Seems like people will say that
That
peeled
one.
grapes are kind of a high society thing, so let's see if we can join the upper crust. All right, charging in 2.
That's BS. Well, I know you're probably right, but why is a peeled grape part of high society? You're just too lazy to not eat the full grape or something. It's like it shouldn't be. No, no. Higher ups and like rich people are weird.
Society thing, so let's see if we can join the upper crust. All right, charging in 2, 1.
It's gonna explode.
Venting.
Dang
It looks very mealy, which it either really messed up the skin or it peeled it. Let's see.
Messed up the skin. Yeah, it just messed up the skin.
That looks like some special effect from Inception or something. What is going on? So it looked crazy on the camera, like it was just messing up the skin, but I think it actually peeled it. Look at this. All right, let's see what a peeled grape is like. Oh, that's too, ugh. No, thank you.
How would you?
So a blackberry seems like it would be pretty hard to peel.
Charging,
Yeah, you can't really peel that.
uncharge, venting, now. The blackberry appears to have left the building.
All right, let's try that again.
All right, closing the charge and venting in 3, 2, 1.
All right, it's kind of hard to see, but I think what happened is all the little berry bits just exploded, the liquid came out, and just an empty blob of fleshy skin was left over.
Technically peeled.
All right, strawberry. What do you think it's gonna do? Shoot all the seeds off the side, maybe?
I think it's gonna
Charging in 3, 2, 1. Closing the charge. Venting.
Yeah,
It smells like strawberry, I'll tell you what. Whew. Whoa, what on earth, dude? Looks like Super Meat Boy.
That's just dried. That's just dried, or something like that. Like it didn't do nothing.
On earth, dude. Looks like Super Meat Boy. All right, let's see what this high speed looks like. Oh my goodness.
So
I would not have expected that. It looks like the strawberry turned into strawberries and cream. If I made all my predictions,
either looks like soap or that like elephant toothpaste. Elephant toothpaste or like kind of like soap.
it looks like the strawberry turned into strawberries and cream. If I made all my predictions of what would happen, this wouldn't even be in the top 100. But I can't tell what actually happened. It's like the skin came off. I'm pretty sure this is not the skin, but the seeds are still there, maybe. I mean, it certainly did something interesting. I don't know if it did something useful. Very interesting.